Derek Carr, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, is dealing with a shoulder injury that threatens his availability for this season, sources say. We'll be talking to Rappaport in about 10 minutes or so. Are the New Orleans Saints in conversations with Aaron Rodgers? And first of all, Derek Carr, Godspeed, brother. So sorry to hear that. That absolutely sucks. But it feels like the Saints had decided Derek Carr was going to be their quarterback. Maybe now they're looking into this rookie draft class. But an injury to his shoulder is potentially going to keep him out of next season. This is something like, I arrived at training camp and I was called down to the training room. I got down there. Peyton Manning had a bunch of wires out of his neck. Okay, Peyton's neck has not been healed. He's going to need more surgery or more procedure, whatever the case is. And I immediately knew I did not prepare enough to punt as many times as we were going to punt that season. We would then almost go completely defeated. But nobody really knew how severe that injury was. Off-season injuries don't have to be reported. Are the Saints eyeing Aaron Rodgers? AJ Hawk, is that something that's happening right now?
When I first heard this whole thing with Carr getting hurt, that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, do the Saints want Aaron? Would Aaron want to go there? And I don't know. I don't have any answers for you, but I think any place like this to where a quarterback job becomes open because a veteran guy goes down, you're going to have to ask, if Aaron's not signed somewhere, like, is this the team that would go after Aaron and would he want to be there?
It wouldn't be a terrible situation.
See, right? Yeah.
They got some good players.
Go ahead, D-Bot.
Yeah, they got,
what do you think?
Got Kamara back there. You got Rashid Shaheed. Obviously, Chris Olave is a dynamic weapon when he's healthy and he's out there. But this is a wild situation. Obviously, Big Ben knew for sure. But then you also look at the quarterback position for Aaron Rodgers. Okay, NFC South or AFC North. You know, we're all expecting it's Pittsburgh or possibly New Orleans Saints. So what's the best path to the playoffs? And then obviously this makes the draft and where the Saints are picking at number 9 much, much more interesting, especially for those teams up at the top. Maybe they can trade back the teams that don't need a quarterback and the Saints jump up. So this was wild, though. You mentioned Peyton. We kind of had a similar situation with Andrew Luck coming in, and that's always a shock kind of to the locker room, to the fan base when you're going into a season at this off-season point in time when teams reporting and you get a big news like that, especially from your franchise quarterback or the guy you're expecting to be your starting quarterback for that season. So this is huge NFL news right now.
Derek Carr, questionable now for this season with the shoulder injury. He might be done. Is there a chance the Saints now look to move up in the draft to kind of get a younger guy who kind of fit their cap space as well? Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think they're probably going to stay at 9 or even possibly get in on the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes?
All right, we'll hit the Rodgers one first. I would imagine if you're the Saints, first of all, this, hurts them cap-wise, if only because it's $40 million allocated to a guy who may not end up playing for you, right? Like, there is a possibility that Derek Carr does not play this season. That is real. That is real. He may have surgery. He has a decision to make. That is all real.
What happened?
Yeah, and how long have we known, Rap?
Okay. This has been just being totally honest, this has been a difficult one for me to figure out. Like, I know the status of his shoulder now. He is currently deciding, seeking medical opinions, seeing if he needs to have surgery. I have heard varying views, reports, facts, whatever you want to call it, about when this actually happened. Was it something that he had been dealing with that worsened? Was it something that he hurt when he broke his left hand late in the season, whenever that was, and just still is bothering him? Is it just wear and tear and just can't go forward? Like, just to be totally honest, like, there are a lot of questions that I don't really have right now. And I think the Saints, I believe, knew, but a lot of their players did not know. And so when this news happened, like, I think for a lot of people who either are with the Saints or are closest, we're kind of like, hold on, what? Like, wait, what? Like, that's how this news felt. And so, like, you talk about the impact on the draft, like, pretty real. Like, rarely do you get an injury like this that really does dramatically impact the draft. But if you're the Saints, like, if you were debating, do we take this guy at 9 or take him in the second round, like, might this make you move it forward? I think possibly it could.
Go ahead, AJ.
What about the Aaron Rodgers situation? You didn't really mention that too much. Like, is he a possibility? Is he in play here for Kellen Moore as a first-year head coach?
I meant to mention that, but then my brain got sidetracked. That happened.
That was on me because I said, "What happened?
No.
What happened? What happened?" Yeah,
It's all right. It's all
100% my
right.
fault.
Team effort. Team effort. If you're Aaron Rodgers and you have the option, and I believe it would be an option. He couldn't make a lot of money there, but I believe they could work something out if they wanted to. If you're Aaron Rodgers, would you rather join the Saints, who obviously do have a quarterback need, or join the Steelers? I think that's kind of where it is to me. Like, are the Saints? I think the Saints are going to be better than people believe if they do get a quarterback. But if you're Aaron Rodgers, doesn't the Steelers make more sense to you than the Saints do?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're asking you.
Division's a lot better.
So Steelers definitely prideful city, great city. We were in it last week. We absolutely love the Pittsburgh area and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger,
Division's
so
different.
incredibly yeah, division very different down there in the NFC South. And also, not to knock on anybody in the NFC South, but Saints fans, like if Aaron would come in and do good, very pumped probably. And I think like him coming down there, probably very pumped all. You know what I mean?
Governor Jeff Landry, his gator.
Governor Jeff Landry would be fine. I mean, like, I think, they celebrate down there too, from what we've found out. That's good. Like, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know if AJ would know. AJ asking you that question is probably the best part of this whole thing because AJ's trying to see what you know that he already knows in the back. But we will continue to keep an eye on all those situations.